Jeff, and I would speculate that perhaps the pine needle droppings, the acidic droppings from the pine needles might help make your ground there a little more conductive than it otherwise would be. Over.
I suppose. I really don't have the science to prove any of that, but it certainly sounds cool. I can tell you this, that I have a cedar swamp that runs around the property, and it's centered by a creek. The Cedar Creek eventually empties into the ocean, but through the Pine Barrens, it's a great collector of runoff and water. So I am on what's called the New Jersey wetlands, which is a heavily protected land. I can't develop my land. Only the section of land that's been divided up for where I built. The rest of the property is protected wetlands, although I own it. Fortunately, what that means though is I don't get a high tax on the land that I can't develop. I own it, but I can't develop it. But it's a pretty cool environment. It's very virgin. It's really untouched since the beginning of time. There's never been development on the land surrounding my property, other than maybe some Indian remnants of Indian tribe and some early settlers in this region, which back then in the late 1700s was the shipbuilding. The shipbuilding industry was big here, and there's some evidence of some cellar holes there from perhaps small dwellings that existed one time before governments were really established. So there was no regulation, but it really does make for fun amateur radio, being able to stretch wire in any direction. The only thing I have to be prepared to deal with is the wildlife that runs through there. Al, VE3 OBA NJ2US.
Fine business, Jeff, and your signal's holding up. Still an easy 10, touching on 20 over here on the north shore of Lake Ontario, just a little west of Toronto. And I'm jealous of this huge pine forest you have at your disposal. I have a suburban lot here, and it's not too big, so I'm constrained by the size of the lot and the aesthetic sense of our neighbors to some extent. But we do okay with this antenna. I'm just looking to get something perhaps polarized in the opposite direction, and thinking of a vertical antenna that doesn't need too much of a ground plane. But everybody seems to say if you don't have 160 ground wires, it won't work. Go ahead.
Yeah, you do hear that, but the reality is you don't need as many radials as the purists would have you believe, because when you start actually looking at the measured difference in terms of dB, you find that if you don't have 60 radios but you have 30 radials, you might lose a half a dB, and that's just not going to be measurable by anybody. Hey, two things that you might be of interest to you. I'm now streaming this transmission live on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and just search for NJ2US live, there's a lot of archived files on there, but there's only one that says live, and you can actually go to that now or go to it later, because when I turned it off, it archives and people can go back and listen to it. But here, you might find this curious. I'm going to play back your audio here, and I'm wondering if you can hear the rumble. Let me play this for you.
We do okay with this antenna. I'm just looking to get something perhaps polarized in the opposite direction, and we do.
You may or may not heard the rumble, but the audio is other than that, it's exceptional.
Yeah, Roger, Jeff. The rumble is an unavoidable annoyance because of the location of the shack and the basement here. But it's, I guess, it's not the rig and it's not the mic. It's the proximity to noisy machines. Go ahead.
Yeah, totally understand it. Fortunately, I got one of the corner rooms on the second floor, and I got a nice view of the Pine Barrens out of the corner windows here on each side. I can see out into the forest where the beverages go hide out there in the woods, and I can see I feed this loop with a length of open wire balanced feed line spaced 4 inches apart. It's made of 12 gauge strand of wire. That leaves the shack and goes up to the feed point of the loop. directly, sort of directly above me here in the shack. So, I listen. The first 45 years of my hamming career were on a 50 by 100 foot postage stamp size lot. I couldn't do much either. It was very frustrating. I always just looked forward to being able to spread my wings a little bit out here in the woods, and I finally got to do that 13 years ago, Al. Hey, I don't want to hold it. I do appreciate you stopping in for the signal report, VE3OBA NJ2US.
Very good, Jeff, and a pleasure to meet you, and it's all very interesting. I'm still jealous of your 600-foot beverage, and someday I may own property that will allow it. But in the meantime, 73 to you, and hope to bump into you soon. NJ2US VE3OBA.
Oh yeah, well, you can be a little more jealous. There's actually 4 600-foot beverages out there, so because I can point north, east, south, and west, roughly. I just use those directions just as cardinal ideas. They're kind of more spaced towards DX and strategic towards Australia and things like that. So it is a lot of fun. I really enjoy it. They were fun to build, and for anybody that's ever used a low noise antenna like a beverage, it's an epiphany from a receive perspective. Take care, Al. Have a great evening. Stay safe. Safe travels. VE3OBA NJ2US in Cape May, New Jersey.
7-3, my friend.
QRZ, who else is around? 40 meters this evening. NJ2US in New Jersey.
Tango.
Kilo Bravo 3 Whiskey Bravo X-ray.
All right, I got Kilo Bravo 3 Whiskey Bravo X-ray, very strong signal. Stand by a second. Was there somebody that yelled QRP? Who's QRP? Let me get K3WBX. That's Jeff. Good to hear you, brother. You fill my logbook here. So probably big check-in on e-cars most of the time, I'm guessing, just by the number of contacts we've had here. Let me get this guy. Maybe you can hear him too. November 1, Uniform Kilo Juliet in Colorado. Go ahead.
Roger.
Okay, calling from Steamboat, Colorado on a ham stick, and that's Dan?
Roger, Delta Alpha November.
And Dan, where are you set up? Are you home? Are you portable, or what's the deal?
I'm in a little camper, a little truck camper with a ham stick, a Hustler, 40 meters, over.
Oh, so, okay, in a camper, basically. All right, very good. Well, are you out there just visiting, vacation, traveling? What are you doing?
I'm out here because of a pandemic. I am a full-time RVer, and my family got concerned, so I've been staying with family for about 16 months.
All right, understand. Very good. And, be careful, be safe. And hold on a second. Let me see if I can get you another report from KB3WBX. Jeff, can you hear him?
No, I don't have him in tonight. I can't hear him.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So that's the beverage working for a living here. Okay, Dan. Well, thanks a lot for the call. Is there anything I can do for you from New Jersey?
No, I just wondered what the quality of my audio sounds like. This radio just came back from Icon, which is 7,000. I'm doing very loud here.
All right. Well, listen, if you want to hear yourself, I'm sure you got internet on your phone or whatever. If you go to YouTube, you go to youtube.com, search for NJ2US, and you'll find a live stream on there that archives. So you don't have to even do this live. You can do it later. Just search for that and pull up this QSO. The time, if you do this later, the time at the lower right-hand corner of the display, which is a Flex 6400, that's what I'm streaming from, is 0200 Zulu, 0200 Zulu. So if you want to check out how you sound here in New Jersey from your hamstick, you might get a kick out of that. Over. Yeah, actually you are. And the Flex is listening to one of the antennas that I'm listening to here, I actually am using two antenna systems. On receiver A is a SAL 20, a shared apex loop 20, which is only 4 feet above the ground, and I'm hearing you on that. And that's the channel that's being recorded on that Flex 6400. I'm looking over at that pan adapter, and you are registering and showing up on the pan adapter. So if you play that back, you should be able to hear yourself. Yeah, sure. Wildwood, very popular. That's only a few miles from me. I'm just a little bit inland in the Pine Barrens on the west side of the Garden State Parkway. So the shore is about 15, 20 minutes east of me. That's where I would go to the beach and go to the boardwalk and things like that. And it's getting to be that time of the year again. That's going to get busy again. Dan, 73, hope you can hear yourself on the live stream, and take care. Thanks a lot. M1UKJ, NJ2US. 73 to you. Yep, have a good evening, 73. And KB3WBX, NJ2US, you sound good tonight, nice and strong, good audio.
Yeah, that's what I was going to tell you. You're coming in about 30 over, so hopefully we're doing close to that. We're just getting used to the Apache Labs, and I really like it. It works well, no problem. It works really good. Sounds just about like yours by what I heard.
Yeah, Jeff. So so let's see. I think when we last talked, you were getting some pointers from. See, this happens so often for me. It tends to blend together in my head. Where we work with people that have Apache, and then somebody offers to go offline and do a little settings. Now, was that you that went off with Art, or Art called you on the phone, or was that somebody else?
That was somebody else. I don't think that was me.
All right. Yeah, like I said, occasionally people will, they'll hear I'm running the Apache and they'll come in with some questions. We try to spread the good word about the Apache series and the 7000. And what are you doing for an amplifier?
I'm running a Kenwood TL922A. Running about 900,000, something like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Great amplifier. I had one in the shack here for a little while, and really liked it. I always liked that amplifier. I had to get one. Sooner or later, I was going to own a 922. I used it for a couple of months, and then I decided I was going to move on. It was just it took up a lot of room in the shack, and I wanted to move into solid state amplifiers. So I've been through a couple of solid state amplifiers. I settled on the SPE Expert 1.5. That's actually my backup amplifier. The primary amplifier is my new pride and joy, and that's this ACOM 2000A. It's just a sweet amplifier. If you can pick them up, they're tough to buy new. They're very expensive, but occasionally you can find them used, and they're just built like tanks.
Well, I know one thing. It sounds really good over here. And tonight we're running the loop antenna tonight, 20 feet off the ground, running a 40-meter loop antenna. And you're just bowling in here. I'm talking 30, 35 over. Sounding good, Jeff.
You're every bit at 20, 25 over here on the SAL and the beverage. You'd probably be about 35 over on the loop, but the noise floor would be a lot higher. All right, Jeff, great to hear you. What else is going on? Do you check into e-cars frequently, don't you?
Yeah, I try to check in at least a couple of times a week. If I have a rain day or something and I'm off work, I try to check in.
Well, it's good to hear you. I just marvel at how many times you're in the logbook here. Dozens.
Yeah, I used to be. I skipped for a long time. Then I got my shack set back up. So I'm back now, so you'll hear me sometime. All right, Jeff, I don't want to tie it up. There's a lot of people out there trying to yell for you. Hey, take care. You're sounding good like always.
Thanks, Jeff, and same here. You sound good. Good luck with that Apache and that Kenwood amp. It's doing a nice job for you. KB3WBX, NJ2US in Cape May. Sure as that. Anybody else around? November Juliet 2, uniforms here.
Is this frequency in use, NC3Z?
What's going on?
Not too much.
It was a bit chilly today.
Yeah, it was a little cool. Not too awfully bad.
NJ2US.
Hello.
Good evening.
Did you put your IKEA stuff together?
I did. It was very easy. Did a little bit of glue and was good to go.
Great.
What are you fixing?
Now my tubes came from the UK that I ordered. Let's see, I ordered them on, I think, March 14th, and they arrived. That's pretty good.
You see the picture I made a comment about, Nick?
I'm trying to remember. Hold on, let me look.
He sent a picture of the tubes with the box they came in. They came in an IKEA box.
Oh, I see that. You think they made that box big enough?
I can't tell you how much bubble wrap. I mean, this thing, it took me almost 10 minutes to unwrap all the bubble wrap. I mean, the guy just really went out to wrap these things. Now, they were inside another smaller cardboard box. I didn't include that in the picture, though.
Yeah, mine left the Ukraine yesterday.
Should have them by the 4th of July holiday, and you'll be able to have you cook a barbecue over them. All right, so here's the downside to this order. I don't know what I got, right? Because there was, I mean, other than the original Svetlana spec sheet that comes with all these tubes, there's no test documents, nothing. There's nothing that says they're matched, nothing. Just nothing.
Did you buy them as matched, or what was the deal there?
Yeah, I bought them as matched. They were advertised as matched. I would have expected a test sheet or, something, but just nothing. So who knows, right? Who knows? I mean, they look clean and brand new, as far as NOS go. They're just immaculate to look at, like the DX Engineering tubes were. But so when you order overseas like this, you don't really know what you're going to get.
What's the date stamp on the side?
There is no date stamp on the side. The old tubes don't have date stamps. So you have tubes. You didn't get them yet, but you showed us pictures of tubes that did have date stamps on them, and they were stamped on the side of the fin, which is very unusual. The older tubes, there's nothing stamped on those fins.
Okay, yeah, those are the actual tubes he was sending me. Those are the newer, so-called bigger anode tubes.
Yeah, I think you have to use vice grips to spread your anode clips out so that it'll fit properly. You have to do a lot of modification for that.
Just bend them out. Break a few off.
That's all. Just put a little slit in it so you can bend them out. No, so your dates were, I'm just trying to remember, 2011?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I don't know, man. That's still 10 years old. So, Nick, would you consider that NOS?
What's that? I didn't listen to the whole thing.
Gary bought new tubes built in 2011. New or NOS?
NOS.
There you go.
So if you buy a new vehicle off the dealer lot, that's a 2020 model. Now it's 2021. Is that a NOS?
Yeah, it's not new.
And if it has over, I'm trying to remember what the hell that number is now. I think it's 1,000 miles. I think it's over. If it's over 1,000 miles on the odometer, it's considered used. I think it's 1,000 miles, and they're not allowed to sell it as new either.
If I was buying a new vehicle and it had more than a handful of miles on it that weren't from transport or testing, then I would consider that used.
Unless it was a dealer demo.
Yeah,
it's still used. You know how those morons drive those dealer cars?
No, I'm just saying you make the deal accordingly. That's all.
What's that, a curb? Nah, jump it.
The thing about even a dealer demo, though, is you get the full factory warranty. There's no penalty on the warranty.
No, that's correct.
Well, one of these days I'll actually get around to putting one of these sets in the amplifier. I'm almost, at this point, I don't know, these tubes are just performing so well that I don't know why I would, there's a part of me that says don't fix it if it ain't broke. Were you guys here in that when Dean stopped in? He picked up a 2000A. It was a 1999 model. I think they were only a year or two old at that point. I think they were introduced in '98.
I don't remember that.
I think Gary went to bed.
Yeah, you may have left, Gary. Dean came in. I forget his call. I can look in the log. He. When you think about an amplifier design that goes back to 1998, which is a freaking eternity ago, other than I think changing out that bad capacitor they were having a problem with, the design has been rock steady.
It's the PW1 of ACOM.
Yeah. We got poor Paul calling him Acums. I think when we were picking on the Acums, that's what he calls them now. Paul, you here?
I heard him up on 7185.
Yeah, he's in that Nate, and I check in there occasionally when I see some potential contacts, but it depends who the net controller is.
Oh, that drives me nuts listening to that crap. NC3Z.
NJ2US.
W2 anyway.
Oh, Gary, the LP700, good investment. I just love looking at this trap power display. It's so cool.
Yeah, especially for comparisons. I tell you, the KPA 500 is still, rock solid on its linearity too.
the SPE just falls apart above 800 watts.
Tell you, that's the same place that the RF kits fell apart. So I don't know.
Is that right? Even with two of the BLFs, you just wonder what's the deal with that.
Yeah. Don't know, but that's the point where it was falling apart too. It just means compression. It means that the input and output, the amount going in versus the amplification is as you put more input, it's not proportionally going higher.
Yeah, it's and the amplifier does start to go into like a compression, and there's certainly no advantage to that. I don't know if I told you this news. I may have mentioned it, not sure. We're waiting. She's waiting for final orders, but Tracy might have to deploy to the southern border with a diaper bag.
And a big net?
Yes.
Catch those kids being thrown over the wall, but Joe's okay with that. That's not a problem.
Absolutely disgusting. It just makes you ill when I watch that video. How everybody's just silent about it. Oh, no problem.
Yep, you do not hear anything from the liberal media or liberals or anything else. Completely silent.
I don't know why we were upset. The kids got up and shook it off and walked it off.
Completely silent about that guy that was released from prison by de Blasio last year. He murdered his mother. They let him out, and he stomps that poor woman.
Well, all we can do is keep telling these stories, and problem with it, it's the home team thing. The Democrats. It's like me rooting for the Philadelphia Eagles. They could be the worst team on the planet, but I'll just keep defending them, no matter how bad they are.
In other news, I don't know if you saw, but somebody took a crap in the White House residence on the floor.
Nice, big, hot, fresh turd?
They're blaming it on Major, but I don't think so.
You mean Joe forgot to tighten up the diaper?
That's the rumor.
Well, you gotta go. Well, I like how the Democrats handle these things. They don't defend any of this. They just remain silent on it. Like it never happened. There's no defending involved.
It would be holy hell if any of this stuff, even remotely close to this, happened under Trump. There'd be holy hell to pay.
Could you imagine if there was a video of somebody dropping babies over that wall when Trump was president? Can you even begin to imagine?
Well, you saw epileptic they got about the kids in cages, which ended up being, again, false story. It was under the Obama administration, and how freaked out they got on that.
I'm telling you, it's a war, and you can't let our guard down. You can't give up, and these smackers got to be defeated in the voting booth, and we got to start printing up our own ballots now. I mean, you got to fight fire with fire. They print 1 million, we print 2 million. It's that simple.
And the sickening statement that Biden made the other day just curdles my stomach. Supports and wanted Coca-Cola to get into the political action and denounce Georgia. That is just sickening to have your thoughts to want to do that. Yeah.
Well, Coca-Cola owns Atlanta.
Yeah, but to promote this divisiveness, I mean, you're just a pure evil person at that point.
It's the Democrats. They're a cancer. They literally are a cancer. They're a black cancerous goo ball.
But that's just pure evil in my mind.
And if you voted for a Democrat, I hold you responsible. Because that's the only way they get there.
Well,
no, it's true. If you voted for a Democrat, you're responsible. That they don't get to where they are any other way. Did Camellia end up in Honduras yet? I'm pretty sure that's why there was like a blackout on her, because she's on an overnight flight down to Honduras. Is that where she is?
nobody's seen or heard from her. Watched some of the video from the other day of Joe's speech where I saw it afterwards, but I was watching now some videos of him before the speech, how an aide had to come up and direct him and point to the piece of tape where he needed to stand.
Yeah, it's pretty pathetic. It's if you did that to a senior that you knew and loved, you'd go to jail.
Yeah, for elder abuse. But man, I had not seen. I saw the one afterwards where he just started wandering and went down the wrong aisle, or down the wrong backstage, and I had to run out and grab him and twist him the other way. But yeah, even beforehand, he was befuddled where he was at.
I'm reading an article on Kamala Harris and the work being done on one observatory where the VP's mansion, and there's a comment here from life at the vice presidential compound, and there's a quote from Biden, and Biden recently reflected upon his stay there in a February town hall, and he quoted, and I'm quoting him, he says, "I wake up in the morning and I say, Jill, where the hell are we?"
Yeah, that's been broadcast before, that he's confused in the morning.
know. Now that we all bought our amplifiers, what do we talk about now?
What an idiot Biden is.
Well, there's a theme I could just keep on going.
When I watched those videos, I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Oh, I mean, his gaffes?
Yeah, I mean, totally losing track of where the hell he was.
Well, it's any time he steps up to a microphone, you're right. It's horrible. He's got, what is he, 60% approval rating or some ridiculous thing?
Oh, you know those numbers are inflated.
We have, I was supposed to be coming down to Florida on, I'm just going to fly down Tuesday the 13th, spend Wednesday the 14th in Lakeland at the EAA Sun and Fun Fly, and then fly home Thursday morning. Now, that's in doubt now that the wifey poo might be deployed, so we're going to try to figure out a plan B. Anything good for sale on QTH? Let's take a look. Well, that HT33A is still trying to go. I was looking at a guy in Gaithersburg, Gary, selling a two-element stepper, 20 through 10. And, you know, I put a call into stepper, and one of the guys called me back. I was on the phone for like 40 minutes, and he was giving me all kinds of tips.
Like what?
Well, I was going to do what Jack did. I like the idea. I was just going to put it up on the rooftop tripod and just point it northeast, southwest, and just do the switching, the 180-degree switching. That looks like it'd be kind of neat. So the guy, he's got this thing listed on QTH for $899, and the guy from Stepper said I wouldn't give him more than $700 for it.
What's he selling for $899?
A two-element stepper. Well, what I like about it is, and it's such a minor detail, but because it would literally be mounted in the middle of my loop, not at the same level at the loop, but only be about 35 feet. But the thing about the stepper is when you're done using it, you retract the elements, and it from an electrical perspective, it disappears. Then if I'm going to put something up there, I go back to that, what is it, the MA6B?
Do what?
I'm just trying to figure out what I can do for 20 through 10.
Hex beam.
No, I can't put that on the roof. But I don't need the nightmare of a hex beam. That's just maybe where you are, you get away with it. But I'm like Paul. It's just going to be nightmarish to have that up there.
Whiskey 1 Papa Echo Fox just joined.
Hello, Paul.
Good evening, Gary. Good evening, Jeff.
Hello, Paul.
Oh, good evening, Nick.
Oh, the MA6B looks interesting.
Yeah. I'm concerned with bandwidth, and it's tuned antennas. There's gain, there's penalties in gain in front to back.
Penalties, on anything, yeah.
Not with a stepper.
Well, there's other penalty.
No, I mean, other than its mechanical construction from an electrical perspective, you can't beat an antenna that physically adjusts its length for optimum behavior.
Yeah, but the element spacing is not optimized.
Well, this guy's selling is actually 8 feet as opposed to the standard 5 feet.
Yeah, but 8 feet's gonna be optimized somewhere, but it's not gonna be optimized for every band.
Yeah, it's optimized on 20, which is where I would like it to be.
And C3Z.
NJ2US.
W2 and ER.
Whiskey 1 Papa Echo Fox.
Well, there you go. The MA6B. It might ship in June. Who knows? Maybe. Maybe not.
So is every company that MFJ touches turned to crap?
Well, I don't think they have anything to do with the shipping date.
But how come they can't deliver anything in their portfolio?
Because everything that goes to put these things together come from China. I'll tell you the easiest thing to throw up there, and I'll bet you would perform fairly well, would be a linearly loaded vertical.
Cut for what band?
20 through 10.
You got to explain what you mean by linear loaded vertical for all those bands.
Well, like the high gain model. There's a high gain model that linear loads them to 3/8 wave verticals with a radial counterpoise.
Yeah, but it's a trap vertical, though, right?
No. There are no traps. It's linear loaded.
So it's like a fan vertical?
No, if you look at it, it looks like it has like these standoffs, right? Standoffs of various lengths.
What model?
Let me see. Is it the AV6? Let me take a quick look. AV620?
Because I used to have the AV680.
Yeah, I don't want to put a 35-foot vertical on my rooftop, right? A 25-footer for 20 through 10 is all I need.
Yeah, I have the AV680, which is the bigger version of that. Those radials, or what looks like radials on the bottom, that actually capacitively couples to the earth, so that has to be mounted close to the earth.
Well, I don't roll that out either. I got places I can do that. Maybe put it on a 10-foot, maybe a 10-foot mast. What did you think of it? Was it a piece of junk or what?
No, of course, for 80 meters, it was marginal, but 40 in the other bands, it worked well. That's the first antenna I put up when I moved down here. Well, actually, I had it in Maryland, so when I took down a tower and everything, I needed an antenna, and so I put that up for the interim, and then when I moved down here, that was my interim antenna. I mean, it was okay performer, wasn't great. I didn't have an ideal location because when you first moved down here, I had to send you the pictures of before and after what I had for vegetation around this house.
Yeah, before you did all the clearing. See, here's the thing. It's only 26 feet tall. I mean, that just kind of... I just poo-poo that height.
No, for up to 20 meters, that's fine, because your 20 meter quarter wave is only going to be 17 feet.
Well, yeah, I mean, I see what you're saying. It's a couple $100 more than the 20 through 10, because the 620, I think, is the same height. It's 23 feet tall. Again, it won't ship till the end of June.
Where are you going to mount your antenna to, Jeff?
I don't know. I'm just talking out loud. I have no clue.
No, she's not answering the intercom.
I have a rooftop tower, Paul, that's up there, pretty rugged. I could put something up there, or, something, maybe something on a 10-foot mast. I want to avoid putting anything on the roof of the house. I just think that's asking for trouble and lightning.
I agree with you. I couldn't afford to put the wife up in a hotel if I did something like that.
Yeah, my wife would take it in stride, but I don't need the aggravation. See, Tracy would look at this, Paul. Wait, so if lightning hits the antenna and the house burns down, that would be an insured loss, and we could design and build a brand new house, right?
Oh, boy.
Yeah, put that up there. We could use something new. And that's the way she would look at it. As long as I put a pole barn up, too.
That's it. Well, my daughter lives on a 4+ acres, and my son-in-law is a ham, and they have a 3- or 4-story barn. And because of the lightning and the potential fire risk, she won't let him put anything near it because she's afraid it's going to be struck by lightning, and the whole barn, which is about 8,000 square feet, would go up in smoke.
Yeah, I understand that. Gary, see those pictures. Looks like you could probably put 18 holes back there.
Well, I only cleared half a lot. Another 4 acres or so, which were not cleared.
I just want to shout out to Lester. Lester's monitoring, and he suggested to me a Comet 250.
Oh, that's the dummy load with the wire on top.
I don't want anything with a trap or a coil. That's not where I need to be.
There's no trap or coil in that Comet.
What is it? How does it work?
It's a so-called loading device in the base, and then a metal whip antenna above that. NC3Z.
NJ2US.
W2 and ER.
Whiskey 1, Pop Echo Fox.
So it's just a base-loaded vertical is all it is. I think there's good science behind these linear loaded stubs, though. I just don't want to miss out on this sunspot cycle. I want to, this loop is great, but I can't, it's just so too unpredictable. I don't really know how it's performing unless I can compare it against something else. Though, in fairness, that MA6B would be perfect for that roof tower. Gary, do you remember back in the day? It might have been before you were born, actually. Something similar to that with those spokes on the end of the element was called a mini beam. Do you remember them?
You mean, is that like the gem antenna?
I'm not sure. They were in QST back in the 70s, and they were, and I actually had one for 10, 15, and 20. They were short, maybe like 11 or 12 foot elements, but they had these capacitive hats out on the end of the elements.
Do a search for gem antenna. Yeah, that's JEM.
Yeah, right. Let's see here.
No, that's not the same gem.
No, I think it's GEM. Yeah, it's called a gem quad.
I'd love to put a two-element quad up there. Would be awesome.
By a Canadian company.
Okay. Eight fiberglass arms. Yeah, it's a quad. That's cool.
No, that's not the one I'm thinking of. Just find that. Okay, try TGM, Tango Golf Mike Communications.
Yeah, I mean it's similar to that. There were these capacitive hats and end loading of the elements. It's very similar to that, but it was just a horizontal Yagi. Oh yeah, there's one with yeah, it's looking a lot like that, but this has got kind of like a quad element on the back. That's kind of neat.
So on DX Engineering site, and you look up the MA5B, and it has the check mark next to fast shipping.
For the MA5 or the 6?
Oh, either one. They both have a check mark saying fast shipping.
Yeah, June 21st. By today's standards, maybe that's the new fast.
Hey, what bands are you interested in?
2015 and 10, but primarily 20.
Well, have you looked at the DES poll?
No. DES?
Yes, DESPOLE. And C3Z.
NJ2US.
Whiskey 1, Pop Echo Fox. Jeff, I think you ought to get one of those tip-over height towers like Gary had, and put a nice beam on the top.
No, I don't want to spend. I want to spend less than $1,000 for that. Those bands are just not that important to me. I'm not putting a tower up because I don't want. Again, this goes back to discussions we had almost a year ago, Paul, where I don't see a value in spending $5,000 to $10,000 for a tower. I don't see it.
No, I understand.
No, Gary built one. I'm not that crafty. I don't think I could build something like Gary did. I mean, that's the answer. I mean, he feels the same way about towers. There's just no point. Doesn't have the ground for it. He can't dig the hole. So, and I don't know. I don't have that problem here. I don't hit water. But it's just any way I do it would just be a lot of money.
It's supposed to trickle down.
What's supposed to trickle down?
The people on the top buying the low people some of their materials. Pay some guy to come out there and do it for you.
No, I don't. Again, no value in it. That would be $7,000 to $10,000 to put a stick in the ground. That's up maybe 20 feet higher than the top of my house. I don't perceive gain.
Who's going to climb to the top of your house and put that up there?
That's easy. I got kids. They'll do that.
Okay.
I get one of these verticals. I can put that up myself. I can pull it up with rope and steady it up there. The tripod tower I have up there tilts over. I just put it in there and then just lift it up. The only thing that holds me back from the roof, I'm just kind of getting repetitive. I just don't want it to be a bullseye for lightning, and it would be.
Yeah, well, and Gary, I don't think Gary's is that difficult, is it, Gary? What you put together?
It's not what?
The tower, your wooden fold-over tower. That wasn't that difficult to put together, was it?
Oh, for the hex beam, no.
That's a relative thing there, Paul.
W2NER. Sorry, had to step away.
We didn't even miss you.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Well, I don't know, a couple cases of beers, maybe you get Chaz and Gary to come to your house and spend a day or two and assemble it and put it up for you.
Nope, would never ask anybody to do that, but I hear you. If I were to do that, I would buy a 50-foot tower and dig have them come over and dig the hole and put it up. But, I don't want to ask people to do that. That's like asking them to come help you paint your house.
That's the Tom Sawyer School of Management.
Now, again, so even if you did it cheap, like just say, for example, Paul, using your example, I were to self-erect a tower. Probably by the time I'm done, I'm still probably $1,000 to $3,000.
Yeah, you're probably right.
And the value I put on working 20, 15, and 10 meters, whatever the perception, and I think I used this example before, is one S unit anywhere on the planet worth $3,000?
No, but it's again. I'll come back and say, it's sort of like if some people, take great pride in owning a specific car or whatever, and just the fact that they have it, is all that's really important. It's not the utilitarian, usefulness, but it's really just sort of what they wanted. To me, a tower was something I wanted since the get-go, and it was one of those like bucket list items, and I just wanted to do it just for the experience of having done it.
No, I totally get that. I don't have that in my brain. I don't have that. I just want to get it done. But I totally understand what you're saying. I'm not driven by the same motivation. Because, the reality is, Paul, if I wanted to put a tower up, I could, right? I could just spend the money right now and do it. But I just, for me, it's got to return. The return, I have to measure the return. Just the satisfaction of knowing I put a tower up is not enough right now.
Well, I know Gary and Lou, when they're talking about working stations, I think it was in Africa or wherever, they take great delight in working those stations. So, there's got to be some benefit to you. Otherwise, like you said, don't do it.
No, again, this is just a discussion. I'm not pushing back hard. I can talk to Africa. I don't need to do what they did to talk to Africa, right? Let's be real here. I work Australia long path here on 40 meters.
But I think, Gary, aren't you working 10 meters for that certificate?
Yeah, that's all 10-meter stuff.
Well, I could put a 10-meter 3-element Yagi up on that roof, low profile, 35 feet above the ground, and it would probably be fine, right? But that's a fairly small footprint antenna.
The tower on your roof, what is the weight limit and wind loading that you can get away with?
Oh, who knows, right? It's bolted into rafters, so it's not, you couldn't put anything really tall on it other than a lightweight vertical. You're certainly not going to put a 15-foot mast and a 40-foot beam on it, that's for sure. Or a 40-pound beam. What did I say? 40-pound beam, 30-pound beam? It's bolted into rafters. That's bad enough. In fact, in one spot, I didn't hit a rafter. I had to put a block underneath of it. In fact, whenever I have to redo the roof, the roofers are going to love me.
Well, just as long as you don't have any leaks, that's what really counts.
Yeah, and that's important because and my poor mom and dad, what I used to drill into the roof of the house I grew up in when I was 14, 15, 16 years old, I don't know how they put up with me, Paul, to be honest.
I know. I can relate. I was drilling through the brick exterior when we lived in Tennessee and my mother was having heart attacks.
I was strapping things to the chimney, all kinds of crap. I lived on a 50 by 100 foot lot. I was, had 80 meter dipoles. I was tying off to the neighbors, a neighbor's little twig tree in their backyard, and they hardly noticed. And the other end was tying off to a neighbor's fence. They just put up with me.
Sounds like you lived in a very nice neighborhood.
Well, I was a good kid. I mean, it's just. My mom and dad raised 4 boys in that house, and not one of us were a lick of trouble to anybody. We were straight shooters as kids. None of us posed any problems. We were well liked in the neighborhood, and we're very thankful for that.
Well, Jeff, I think you could probably, if you had the room, wherever you wanted to put it, one of the telescopic masts that you could take up, and if it worked, it worked. If not, you're out. I would think less than several $100, a couple $100, I think, and then whatever it takes to guy it, and then a small rotor, and like you said, one of the what was it, MA6B?
NC3.
NJ2US.
W2NER.
Whiskey 1, Papa Echo Fox.
No, something like that. I would just put it on that tripod tower. I mean, a low profile horizontal Yagi that's not more than 15, 25, or 30 pounds, and it would only be. I'd only extend it maybe on a 10-foot mast. It's a 5-foot tripod, so a 7 to 10-foot mast just extending over the top of the tripod, and I can mount a rotor in the base plate of the tripod tower. It's a Martin tower.
Yeah, I forget what's the wind loading on that MA6B.
Well, I mean, the number's meaningless to me because I can't. I wouldn't put anything that would approach the maximum of wind loading, right? So I can't. It's not. I'm not even going to factor that in. It's got to be. If I can lift it, it'll be fine. When the wind load. So I'm sure it would survive a 60-mile-an-hour wind. First moved here, it was a quick way to get an inverted V up, right? I just used it as the center post of an inverted V.
Oh, there's a KPA 1500 for sale on QT8.
Yeah, it's been there for a few days. For 5,200?
Yeah, no takers.
No, it's been there for almost 6 days now.
You'll see that drop into the low 4s for too long.
I'll hang on to it for that.
Nobody's buying them used. Not for above 5,000.
Well, if you sample the YouTube videos of that amplifier, there's one thing that stands out in every single video you watch. It is an unbelievably noisy amplifier. The fans are just unbelievable, and I hear the pushback. Oh, no, well, they never get that fast. Well, guess what?
What's your serial number, Paul?
Oh, hang on. I think it's like 176 or something like that.
Yeah, this is 111.
Same vintage. Did the guy have a letter? Did he send it back? Has it been repaired?
It's been fully checked out by Elecraft.
Okay, means it's gone back for repair.
No, he just sent that back just for the hell of it, just to get it PM, the yearly PM.
Yeah, and not only that, You have to come pick it up because it's too nice to ship.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where is he living?
I think that guy's in California, isn't he?
Which one? No, he's down here in North Carolina.
Well, he shipped. I think he ships it. I think he says he'd ship it.
He does. At your cost.
Yeah, well, that's a given.
He's about a 3-hour drive from here. He says he is just a little bit below Raleigh, or below Durham, sorry.
I drive 3 hours for $4,200, $1,500, if that's what it eventually went for. I would never pay over $5,000 for one.
Use the rule of thumb of between 75% and 80% of the new cost.
Problem is, I don't trust Elecraft anymore to give you the honest poop of what's going on.
I know.
You know, they say they're going to be there in 10, 12 weeks. Well, you know, people are starting to really complain now that they've had deposits out for 2 years.
Was that W1 LID that just checked in?
Oh, my God. W1DIG.
Oh, okay. I couldn't tell without the call sign. I thought it was LID.
Oh, my goodness, yeah. Good evening. Is Murph here?
No, I think he's licking his wounds.
Oh, no, you beat him up again.
No, he hasn't come back yet. Literally, he was in my noise floor, Lou. He was that weak.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have a lot of wire, you know, unfortunately.
Well, my problem is that Palermo was covering him up.
Oh, man, you're really burning him.
Oh, he would have been inundated. He would have been wiped out by the league's broadcast.
Oh, Paul, this guy fell down. Now he's kicking the hell out of him.
Wow, this guy really is. He wants you to pay $5,200 shipping and insurance and the PayPal fees?
Yeah, he's smoking crack.
Yeah, I think so.
What are you buying?
I'm not buying anything. It's a KPA 1500, the Elecraft KPA 1500 on QTH. He's got it for sale.
You have one, don't you?
Roger, I was thinking about listing it. Hey, I still may do it, you know, and but you know, I would at least absorb the PayPal fee.
What does that go for second hand?
Well, it goes brand new for $6,000. So if you knock 10, 15% off, puts it right around $5,000.
Ouch, that hurts.
10 or 15 is it's usually a bit more than that.
Well, you know, like you say, the market will pay what the market will pay.
Well,
yeah, I mean, and you'll see, like this guy selling it, you'll see hopefully you'll eventually see what it goes for.
Well, but you won't, right? It'll just disappear. You'll never know what somebody paid for it. He's listing it for $5,200 and it's been there for a week, so that tells you something.
Well, it shows submitted on March 30, so that's not really a week.
He updated it. That's been there for a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I would say that 4,200 would be the top end for that amplifier.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, at 4,200, I'll sit on it.
Yeah, I hear you.
If you don't use it, though, what's the point of having it?
Well, it's, as Jeff would say, it's a spare.
Yeah, Nick makes a good point.
Yeah, you know, so along those lines, I mean, I have the SPE here, and it's a very capable backup amplifier, you know, so I wouldn't be without it, you know, because if you lose an amplifier, I wouldn't even come into the ham shack if the amplifier was broken. I show up barefoot somewhere, I don't even get that.
Here's so So on March 17th, it says sold. Other than a slight bit of dust, this KPA 1500 is like new. Comes in factory boxes inside, one big box, 5150 shipped UPS with a PayPal. So that's 5150 shipped, including PayPal fees.
And it's sold?
And it's sold, but it was a late production one.
Jeff, you did a good job, Jeff, sneaking that in there.
What, the SPE?
No, you wouldn't show up with 100 watts.
No, I wasn't even thinking about you.
I know, but I'm paranoid.
Lou, I'm just getting so tired of hearing ham radio operators, and I hear it on 40 meters all the time, checking into e-cars and other nets. They'll brag about being barefoot. It's like, oh, I didn't turn the amplifier on today.
I hear you.
As long as you can hear me, hi.
Well, you do get that. Hi. Just say laugh. Or just laugh.
Yeah, I'm telling you, some hams are just, they need to go away.
Oh, well, it's the hobby we picked. The bright side, you got someone like Gary.
Yes, timed ID again, NC3Z. Go ahead, Lou, say something about that.
NWDIG.
NJ2US.
W2NER.
Whiskey 1, Pop Echo Fox.
Were you on this morning, Lou?
I think so. Yeah, I was on. Hello, you're challenging my memory.
Well, you're like Joe Biden. You said somebody crapped on the floor in the White House residence there, Lou? You see that news story?
Oh, no. Don't tell me. He fell down. Now is the feds let go?
Well, they're blaming it on the dog again. That keeps biting people, and they keep blaming the dog for all this stuff.
Well, the dog's a Republican, isn't it?
No, it's Joe's dog. His name is Major.
Yeah, well, he's a Republican.
No, the dog's a Muslim.
Oh, jeez. This is going south fast.
Just hang on to the bar, Lou. You can get through the ride.
Yeah. When you need him.
So since I've turned that bias down, Jeff, I've noticed my output's a little bit lower.
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember the comment that Eric told me about the bias. He goes, if you he told me, and I don't know, maybe he was backwards, but he said a higher bias is actually the amplifier is a little more linear. I don't know how you can improve upon the way it is, but that was what he said.
Yeah, I'm probably down a little bit in power from what it was if it was given drive level.
Now is that in a default tune or did you do a they call it an auto tune?
Yeah, that's in the user tune solution.
What's the difference when you go to the default?
Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1288. Hold on.
There's an Acom 2000 amp for sale there, too, on QTH.
There's a few of them on there.
All right, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's down quite a bit. That's 1152.
It depends where I am. When I'm going into a 1-to-1 SWR like I am now, the default gives me the highest power. When I do an auto tune, I lose about 50 watts.
Yeah, no, mine's the opposite way. Okay, so I'm back to the user, and I'm up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1260. So yeah, I'm up about 100 watts on the user solution. So that's still down a bit from what it was before, so I may have to readjust my 100% output level again. Let me do a quick check, see where my bias is at.
Yeah, if you made an adjustment to it, I could see that pot floating. Hey, Hey, Paul, there's always about 2 or 3 2000As on there. They're always asking a ton of money for them, though.
Well, the one I just looked at, I think, was $4,200.
Still a lot of money for a used one. And that's probably the cheapest that you'll see it used. Probably, depending on the tube life and things like that, it's probably more right in there around $3,600 to $3,900.
Yeah, it's right. It's bounced between 370 and 380, and it stays right around 50 on the low.
Yeah, the 50 is more stable, but again, I think the high bias, it only goes in 10 milliamp increments, right? You never see a 375.
What I'll do when I get the new tube set, I'll do it, but I'll check the test points and set it all up and let it. I put those in there.
That's truly anal. You know that, right?
Yeah, but I never tested it to see really how close it is to the service menus.
Yeah, Eric says they're remarkably close. He just didn't like the fact that they didn't read in 5 milliamp increments. Other than that, he's found that the service menu readings are very accurate.
I just need to retweak my maximum drive. Well, I don't know, Lou, is 1280 watts good enough?
I would say so, Gare. Especially when you can push $2,000, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with ease.
Get a lifetime out of the tube.
I ordered a backup set, Lou. Their late production, 2011 production match pair from the factory.
Yeah, I'd throw them in and use them for a while, and then, casually take them out and store them. Maybe every 3 years, do the same thing again.
Yeah. Setting the bias on these is so easy.
I'd love to have the little trap panel on the front. I think that would be really cool.
Easy enough to do.
Not too nosy. What is the 2 tubes going for?
I go for 500 shipped.
For 2 of them?
For a match pair, late production.
Wow, that's a good price. I imagine 2 3,500 heads would be probably 350 now, maybe closer to 4.
Hey, I'm doing what John said don't do. Don't buy them from Russia, but I ordered them from Russia.
Yeah, but you got Russian tube in there anyway, right?
Correct. That's the only place you can get them from.
They are all Russian tubes.
You go through DX Engineering?
No, bought them from a guy that was selling them, Vlad out of Moscow was selling them on QTH.
Oh, boy.
Fifth in Maine wearing a trench coat, Lou. He opens it up and there's tubes in his pockets.
Good one.
It's the same Vlad that runs GB antennas, if you ever look at their website.
What's on the other side, Rolexes?
Bought them from a guy that was hanging around this moose.
I don't know. I might be leery to do that. DX Engineering would have been a good move, but what are they charging?
$750.
Yeah,
They break them in, though. They test them, correct?
Yeah, I have a pair of DX Engineering tubes, Lou.
Yeah, but they test them, don't they?
Yeah, they test them and they getter them. That's correct, according to the sheet they sent me for the 2 tubes for $750.
Yeah, that's good. That's an insurance thing. You're comfortable. You see them on the shelf, and you know they're good.
I also just got a pair from I ordered them from the UK, and they just got here today. I ordered them on, I have to check that. I think I ordered them on March 14th, and they just came today.
That's good shipping time.
You know, I forgot to tell you guys, it's just a little side note. I was tracking them, and I got the tracking notice said that the package arrived at my local post office at 1:53 p.m. today. So I said, and then it said expected delivery Friday before 4 p.m. So, like, I'm sitting there, like they were reading my mind, and this is one of the advantages of living in a small town where you just know everybody. The postmaster called me on my cell phone and said, "Hey, Jeff, you got a box here." And I said, "What? You don't call me for packages." He goes, "Yeah, but this came in weird. It came from like an independent shipper. It arrived here just now, 1:53. He goes, normally all our stuff comes in at like 5 o'clock in the morning, and we sort it, and it goes out for delivery. But he goes, I just thought I'd give you a call because you're a couple blocks away, and you might want to come pick it up." But anyway, I just got a kick out of that.
NC3Z.
NJ2US.
V1DIJ.
W2NER.
Whiskey 1, Pop Echo Fox.
So I don't understand. They said an independent contractor brought it in from where it came into New Jersey in Monroe Township, and he dropped it off at the post. You know, you'd think they would just drop it off at the house, but I guess it has to be delivered through the post office. It was just weird.
Yeah, it sounds weird.
But Pitney Bowes was the contractor for shipping this from England.
Oh, that's up here in Connecticut, Pitney Bowes. I think they manufacture copy machines, don't they?
Yeah, that and postage machines, but evidently they're in the international shipping business too.
Yeah. Yeah, I used to make rectifiers for them.
Wrecked him? You damn near killed him.
And I know. You ought to see him now. Pitney Bowes, I think they were in Danbury.
Gary got a kick out of it, Lou. It came in an IKEA box.
Is that right?
He had to assemble the cooling fins.
The tubes arrived. They look immaculate. I mean, they look new, right? There's no scratches on them. They're nice and shiny. But absolutely no documentation with them, no testing documents, nothing. And I bought them as a matched pair, so who knows?
Have a one bent fin indicating they were tested?
Is that how you can tell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diet Coke. Push the bubble in.
Scratches around the anode.
Do you have to pay a duty or something on that coming from England?
Nope, not at all.
Maybe there. Maybe they pay it.
Well, I did pay, I think the shipping U.S. dollars was like $56 or $60. It was up there.
Yeah. Doesn't surprise me.
I think it was like 41 British pounds.
Probably came in through air freight.
I don't know. They posted it via Royal Global Mail. But 15 days, I thought that was a pretty good turnaround.
and what alcohol?
I ain't worried about that. It spent 7 minutes at customs.
Hey, Pete, what's this? Oh, throw it over. I'll look at it.
Well, the way this thing was wrapped, you could play basketball with it. Wouldn't have hurt him.
A lot of bubble wrap, huh?
The box is like the size of a microwave oven.
Yeah, they're well protected. That's good. Now, would that be a Russian tube?
Absolutely. There's only one manufacturer of these tubes, and that's Svetlana. That's it. They're in the Russian Federation, and they're still around. I mean, Svetlana's a big company, but that's it. That's the only manufacturer of these tubes. Every tube you buy is a Russian tube. Even if you buy it from DX Engineering.
Yeah, well, they put the order in. I remember Jerry talking about it. Oh, John, I think.
But I learned this the hard way. The tubes you get from DX Engineering are NOS tubes. In fact, the tubes I got from them were built in 1985.
New old stock. Oh, by the way, Jack got his COVID vaccine shot.
Yeah, I'm a week and 2 days into my second shot.
Yeah, he was able to get it early because, for some reason now.
I walked in with a pack of Marlboro. They gave it right to me. Yeah, New Jersey, that's one of the...
Smoker.
Yeah, smokers. Line right up if you're a smoker.
Yeah, I'll be there. What'd you pay for the package of cigarettes? $10?
I shoplifted it.
Careful.
They're going after Joe Manchin now.
Why? What did he threaten to do?
Nothing. He's opposed to removing the filibuster, and now Clyburn and a bunch of other ones are now attacking him on the news circuits.
He can take it, though. Manchin's been through this many times before.
What's Biden's dog's name? Get him?
Libtard.
What's he biting everybody for? What kind of dog is it? A pit bull? The S&P broke a record, Gary.
Did it?
Yeah, I guess it's over 4,000 now. First time ever.
That Jim Clyburn is an angry man, an arrogant, angry man. crypto money's been doing pretty good, Gary.
Has it? Let me look. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm up. It's pretty good. It's been, it's been a roller coaster, but it's been a trend.
Litecoin's the only one that's been a poor performer.
Well, yeah, like today, Bitcoin was taking a little bit of a hit. It was so. I mean, if you sit and stare at that, it literally changes about every 20 seconds.
NC3Z.
NJ2US.
W2NER.
Whiskey 1 Papa Echo Fox.
This is nice. I sent pictures of that stepper beam to the guy from Stepper, and he gave me an assessment based on the pictures. He was very honest about it. And this is nice of him to take the time to do that.
Well, what are you thinking of, Jeff?
I was looking at a 2-element stepper that's for sale on QTH. I was just because it's within driving range of me.
Yeah, what are they asking? 1,500?
No, 900, but it's way too much.
Yeah. A 2-element. No, I guess it's 20 through 6 meters, right?
Yeah.
I'd love to pick up the 3-element one, but it's just a maintenance nightmare. Parts I might be lucky, you never know.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having one. If I put it up 35 or 40 feet, it would probably do pretty good.
Oh, absolutely. Where you are?
Oh, yeah.
Just got your picture, Gary. Who did all the clearing? Did you pay someone to do it, or did you do it?
No, I had a guy come in here with a forest mulcher.
A heck of a lot of clearing.
Yeah, it took them about 3 days to do all that.
Wow. But you had to do all the repair after it was all done, I'm sure.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you know, when they come in and clear that, did they smooth all the earth back for you?
No, the forest mulcher does all that. There was nothing to smooth. Nothing had to be smoothed out. That's all mowable.
Wow, I guess I don't know what a forest mulcher then is. That looked like those are big trees and everything. Was that sort of more brush than trees?
No, the trees were hauled off by a timber company took the trees out for me, and then what was left was done by the forest mulcher.
Okay.
When they took the trees, did they de-stump them or did they leave stumps?
They cut them really close to the ground. There's still a few stumps out there, but the mulcher took care of a lot of the stumps.
If I did that on my land up here in New Jersey, they'd put me in jail.
Is it illegal?
Yeah, you better believe it is. This is protected wetlands.
Calling all radio amateurs. Calling all radio amateurs. This is W1AW. Calling all radio amateurs. Calling all radio amateurs. Calling all radio amateurs. This is W1AW in Newington, Connecticut. An official bulletin transmission follows. Calling all radio amateurs. Calling all radio amateurs. Calling all radio amateurs. This is W1AW. Calling all radio amateurs. Calling all radio amateurs. Calling all radio amateurs. This is W1AW in Newington, Connecticut. An official bulletin transmission follows. This is W1AW. Here is special bulletin number 4 from ARRL headquarters in Newington, Connecticut, April 1, 2021. To all radio amateurs, past ARRL San Diego Section Manager and Southwest Division Vice Director Chuck Miller, November Fox 9 Tango, ex November Zulu 6 Tango, of Danville, Illinois, died on March 10. An ARRL life member, he was 67. Miller served as San Diego Section Manager from 1998 until 2002, when he was elected as Southwestern Division Vice Director. He was re-elected as San Diego Section Manager in 2006 and served briefly before having to resign for health reasons. Miller was a barber, disc jockey, police officer, and firefighter before settling for the job with San Diego Transit, driving a trolley for 25 years. After retirement, he returned to Illinois. And this is W1AW. Here is DX Bulletin number 13 from ARRL headquarters in Newington, Connecticut, April 1, 2021. To all radio amateurs, this week's bulletin was made possible with information provided by the Daily DX, OPDX Bulletin, 425DX News, DX Newsletter, Contest Corral from QST. Thanks to all. Small Drive, 8 Quebec. Matt, 0 Mike 6 Lima Radio, QRV as 8 Quebec 7 Mike Sierra until April 10. Activities holiday style on 40 to 15 meters using mostly CW with some SSB. QSOV Echo Alpha 5 Golf Lima. South Shetland Islands. Lee Delta Sierra 4 November Mike Juliet is QRV as Delta Tango 8 Alpha from King George Island. Lately, he has been active on 40 meters using FT8 between 0400 and 0415 Zulu. He is here until December 31. QSOV Delta Sierra 5 Tango Oscar Sierra. Republic of Korea, Hotel Lima. Lee, Hotel Lima 1, Italy Whiskey Delta, is QRV as Hotel Lima 1, Italy Whiskey Delta Stroke 5 from Koji Island. hourly on the air Alpha Sierra 081 until April 4. Activities holiday style on the HF band CW and FCH. QS Via Echo Alpha 5 Golf Lima. And this is W1W. Thailand below 0. Jorge Alpha Bravo 6 Whiskey Papa is QRB as Hotel Sierra 0 Zulu Alpha Kilo from Phuket Island. Out on air Alpha Sierra 053. Activity is on 20 to 10 meters using mostly FSB and sub-CW. QS Via Hotel Sierra 0 Zulu Alpha Kilo. Minami Torishima is Juliet Delta 1. Talk Juliet Golf 8 November Quebec Juliet is QRB as Juliet Golf 8 November Quebec Juliet stroke Juliet Delta 1 while on work assignment at the weather station here. Activity in his spare time on 4030 and set with Station Juliet Whiskey 1 Italy is now QRB on Bear Island. Island on the air Echo Uniform 027 at the Bear Island Norwegian Meteorological Station and is here until May 15. Activity rate has been on 20 meters using SSB. He was fell via the Bureau. This is W1W. Antarctica. Paul, Victor Kilo 2, Papa Alpha Delta, is currently QRB as Whiskey Kilo 0 Papa Delta until November, while on work assignment on KC Station, on the air Alpha November 016. Activity is on 40 and 20 meters in his spare time. QS Via Echo Bravo 7 Delta X-Ray. This weekend on the radio, the North American SSB Sprint Contest, QRP 80-meter CW Fox Hunt, NCCC RGTY Sprint, NCCC CW Sprint, K1USN Slow Speed CW Test, POGXS 070 Club PSK 31 Flavors Contest, Louisiana QSO Party, Mississippi QSO Party, Florida State's Parks on the Air, the SPDX Contest, and the EARGTY Contest are all on tap for this upcoming weekend. Please see April QST, page 75, and the ARRL and WA7BNM contest websites for details. This is W1AW. This is station W1AW Newington, Connecticut. The phone both transmitted daily at 0145 UTC, simultaneously on 1-855-3990, 7290, 14290, 18160, 21390, 28590, 50350 kilohertz, and 147.555 megahertz. The explosive transmitted in this time slot on Friday at UTC. This is station W1AW Newington, Connecticut. Thank you for tuning in, and good evening.
Thank you, NC3.
Nice job, NJ2US.
Whiskey 1 Papa Echo 5.
Oh, we lost Nick. A lot of stuff to do there.
W2NER.
There, he just woke up. Lou, you're not running your amp, are you?
Oh, I just turned it off.
Oh, did you have it on earlier?
No.
Oh, okay. You still got to just try and compare it against Mervs. I mean, you just blow him out of the water, even a QRP like you are.
He didn't show up tonight. We had a schedule tonight. Maybe he was here earlier.
He's probably lurking.
Yeah, if you were on, you'd be a great comparison so I could show him how, what the two compared signals sound like.
one thing about this particular 60-meter antenna. Its average height is probably 40 feet. Well, I know from the front yard to the back, it's definitely 45 and up. And it goes through the back by the golf course. Yeah, it's just one spot. It comes down to the ground at an angle. And that's probably about 40 feet that does that.
What do you have, Lou? Just a dipole?
Yeah, it's a L shape. If you look at Google Earth, you'll see to come down on my property, the left-hand side would be west. It goes from the front yard to the back. Then the other leg goes from west to east. The other one is north-south. All equal lengths. And it's 20 gauge. Steel, copper coated. Is that copper clad?
Yeah, very good. Can you hear me on 30 watts, Lou?
Oh, absolutely.
Let me switch over to my NFED. I haven't used this in a couple of weeks. Let me see if you can hear me on the NFED.
Yeah.
All right, hello. Okay, yeah, the SWR is pretty flat here. That's what I like about it. It's pretty much cut for 1855. This is 35 watts on the NFED. Normally in your direction, this...
Nothing wrong with that NFED, I'll tell you.
Hey, Jeff.
Yes?
Yeah, who's there? Go ahead, NC3Z.
Yeah, Lake George. Can you hear me on this NFED?
What's your call?
November 2, Zebra, Romeo, India. I'm upstate.
Oh, it's, N20RI. What's going on? Yeah, I hear you fine.
Yeah, I'm on an NFED also at the moment, 100 watts. I'm quarantining up in a cabin 35 miles west of Lake George.
Are you all right? Are you positive?
No, I'm okay. Just that they won't let me go home unless I quarantine. I was down in Florida for a couple of weeks.
How do they know?
How did they know? No. The wife and son won't let me come home.
Oh, all right, so the family quarantined you. All right. Joe, can you hear the difference between my loop and this NFED? I'll switch again. This is the NFED. Let me go back to the loop.
Okay.
And here I am back on the loop. This is the loop. Same power, about 35 watts.
Yeah, well, you were about an 8 to a 9 before. Now you're about a 6 to a 7. Big difference on the NFED.
Same here, Jeff.
The NFED stronger. Let me do it again. So this is the loop, 35 watts. Let me switch over to the NFED. And this is the NFED. This is the NFED 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 NJ2US.
Yeah, NJ2US, NJ2RI, about 2 units difference on the NFED wings.
Same here, Jeff. No. But they're both equal.
Negative 76 for the loop here, 82 on the NFED, so the NFED loses by 6 dB. Hello, Joe, can you hear me, NC3Z?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm up 100 watts. You guys are not going to... I got to tell you what I'm using so you can have a good laugh. I got the 7300 up here. I took it up in a suitcase. My little Olinko power supply. And I'm using an ACOM coupler, an AH4. And I've got about 100 feet of wire outside on an NFED.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know it's no great shakes, but I'll tell you, it works. 6 meters all the way through 160.
Yeah, well, you're not super strong, but...
And the other thing, to boot, I'm on the side of a hill facing Lake Snow, so I'm really up against the hill, and Route 28 is just above me.
Oh, okay. Like I said, you're not very strong, but I can hear everything you say.
Well, that's all I count for this temporary setup. Without this, I'd be going bossy here.
You're good in Connecticut, Joe. W1DIG.
Well, thank you. You're about 10 over 9 here, up at Lake Snow.
George there, W4TL.
Yeah, stand by. A few people talking.
So,
Check in there. Who wants to check in?
Roger, this is W4TL. Handle done. I saw someone here trying to get a signal report. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, there's several people here. You're dealing with a couple of them. Yeah, I can hear you.
Roger, QSL. Well, thank you very much. Handle is done. Delta Oscar November. And I'm located in Great Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee. Go ahead.
All right, QSL, hold on. Everybody needs to D since it's the top of the hour. NC3Z.
NJ2US.
DIG.
W2AR.
Whiskey 1 Papa Echo Fox, and I'm saying 73, gentlemen. Talk to you tomorrow.
Good night, Paul.
Good night.
See you, Paul.
So long, Paul.
Good night.
There you go. We just had to get all the IDs out of the way, Don. Yep, I hear you just fine. NC3Z.
Roger, QSL. Thank you very much. My name is Don, Delta Oscar November, and my station is located in the Great Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. And I don't know who all is in here, if it's a net or what, but thank you very much. Go ahead.
Yep, there's about 6 or 8 of us in here right now. It's just a rag chew net.
Roger, QSL. You got a great signal over in Tennessee. Go ahead.
Yeah, this band's quiet. Band always works good.
He's an 819 up there.
Well, time for me to head on downstairs, so I'll see you all later. NC3Z. See you tomorrow night.
Yeah, good night, all. I got to sign out to Pumpkin Time, NJ2US.
Oh, 73, W2NAR.
Well, I hear Nick in there, too. Okay, 7-3, everybody. N2ZRI.
Nick, could you hear ZRI in there? He heard you just fine.
No, I can't hear him. I've got a relatively high noise level, but no. And he's probably running barefoot if I know Joe.
Oh, yeah, he's running QRP on a short 10-foot wire.
No, I don't hear him.
Okay. All right, Joe. Yeah, it's one-way propagation. See you later. NC3Z.
Hey, take care, everybody. Joe, you got a good signal down here in Prospect, Connecticut. I'm running 100 watts as well with a 160-meter dipole up around 40-45 feet. So enjoy yourself. You might have snow up there, Joe, do you?
Yeah, we do. We had snow. You're 10 over 9 here up in Lake Snow. Yeah, I just wanted Nick to know. He thinks I'm in Dutchess County. I'm not. I'm up here near Lake George, 35 miles west of it. But, yeah, you're 10 over 9.
Yeah, you're not too terribly far from me. Up there to the northwest. Okay, Joe, take care of yourself. Stay healthy. Well, this damn virus doesn't seem like it's ever going to leave. Take care, W1DIG.
Take care. N2ZRI.
Yeah, name is Lou, Joe, if you forgot. Lou, Lima, Oscar uniform. 7-3.
7-3, N2ZRI. Awesome.